Hello and welcome to this short video on how to create a header in Word for the newsletter that you guys need to do for this practice assessment. So this will be something similar to what you would need to do in the actual assessment. Okay, so what I've done here is, as you can see, I've actually created this header here. So this is the header at the top of the Waitakere BMX Riders newsletter. In the actual assessment, okay, this is the practice assessment. This is the information that you've been given. So what I've done is I've copy and pasted this over, and then I've deleted this section at the top here and created this header for myself. So what I'm going to do is simply show you how I've done that. We're going to make use of some text boxes for this and import an image and make a couple of lines and put some text in, and that together will make up this this header. Okay, so to show you what I did, okay, I'm just going to repeat that whole process. So let's highlight the section from the Word file. So let's copy that. Let's go File, New, Blank Document. Let's paste that in. Okay, now I'm just going to select everything with Control A, and I just want to check the margins. At the moment set to narrow. I think moderate is a better size, less of a left and right hand margin. Right, so some stuff here we want to get rid of, so I've highlighted this, essentially a graphic, and deleted that. I'm also going to delete this. Okay, now I want to make some room, so I'm just pressing enter a few times for that. Okay, now what I want to do is, going back to the completed one for a moment, okay, I'd like to get this text, Waitakere BMX Riders, and let's get this image in here as well. Now you'll find that it's a lot easier, as I said before, to put things in this sort of layout when in Word you use some text boxes. I'm not a great fan of text boxes, but in this situation they are very handy. Okay, so just to save a bit of time, I did play around with trying to get a font which I thought was suitable, and I wanted something that sort of had some movement to the font, if you like, so it's a bit dynamic, and I've chosen this Mistral font and 48 size. So going back to this one here, so I'm just going to type in Waitakere BMX Riders. Got a spelling mistake there, we'll set up in a second. Okay, let's highlight that. In fact, before I highlight it, I'm going to go Insert, go to Text Box here, and I'm going to Draw Text Box. These other options not really useful for what I want to do here, so I'm just going to draw out a text box. Let's cut that text, so Control X to cut and Control V to paste. You might notice there's a bit of room at the top and bottom. This is because of the really the paragraph settings, and I just want to make sure that I've gone here to highlighted all of the stuff inside here, gone to this paragraph section, little arrow in the bottom left right hand corner, and I want to set the spacing to 0 before and after. Okay, and so that just takes away any unfortunate sort of extra spacing that Word might automatically put in. Okay, so let's highlight this. Let's go to that Mistral font. Oh, that didn't work, so let's highlight that again. Let's go down to M. There we go. Recently used. Let's scroll down. Okay, where are you, Mistral? There we go, Mistral. And let's make it that 48 size. Okay. That looks a little different, so just want to check back on this one. set that to italic as well. That's counting for that difference. So let's highlight that, make it italic and not bold. There we go. Alright, so text boxes can be resized, and the nice thing about them is you can drag them around, put them wherever you want. That's why I'm using it. Now what I don't want is this border around the outside, so format, shape outline, no outline. Okay, so text, basically I can move around where I want to. Okay, next thing, let's get that image basically where I want it as well. So I'm just going to put the cursor anywhere outside of that text box. So let's go insert, online pictures. Just got to wait here for this to load, and I just typed in BMX, I think that's what I typed in. Okay, so show web results, yes. Okay, can we make that a bit bigger? Yes, I can. Okay, well, I was having a few technical issues there. As you can see, I've managed to find the image that we were using yesterday and have inserted that. Okay, so we need to resize this image for a start. Go to the bottom right hand corner, hold down shift, resize it by dragging. Okay, it's about the right size. Right click on the image, go to size and position, text wrapping in front of text. Okay. Drag this now that you can drag it, to around about that position. Getting a little bit of overlap here, some of the text is missing. Right click on the image, click to send to back, and that is not quite the way I wanted either. Now I'm getting part of that missing. So let's move this slightly to the right. In fact, let's bring that to the front. Okay, just have to play around a little bit there to get that right. Okay, now what about the text here? So I'm going to put the cursor around about the right position here, maybe a line above, one up. Okay, let's type newsletter 1. Now to get this April 2015 over here, okay, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to use the ruler and a tab to get that in the right place. If the ruler is not visible, view ruler. Okay, get that ruler up. Let's go back to this text here. Okay, now on the ruler I want to put around about this position what's called a right tab. As you can see, we've got some small L shaped ones. They're left tabs. Over here is, if you click on that twice, you get to the backwards L, which is the right tab. I'm going to put the cursor, arrow on the ruler, click and hold down the left hand mouse button. You get a tab which you can position. If it goes to the wrong place, go back to it, hold down the left hand mouse button on it and drag it. If you're not happy with it, okay, if it's there, then you simply drag it off the ruler. Okay, I'm going to put one there. Okay, now I'm going to press the tab key now, and that text is now going to where I want it, the cursor I mean. Now we're going to insert the date and time. I'm going to choose one that looks roughly like I want that one. Yes, I want to update automatically. Okay. Now that is missing because of this overlap here. So in fact I'm going to move this all down one line just to make it simple at this stage. Okay, now this is actually a field, so if I right click on that, you can see you've got field properties here, like a database field. I'm going to go to edit field, and up the top here, date formats, I'll put 2 more Y's in there. Preserve formatting during updates is a good idea. Click OK. Now we've got April 2015, and that will automatically update when we get to the next month. Okay, having done that, I now am going to put this into a text box because it's going to be a lot easier to move. So I'm going to highlight, I'm going to go to Insert, draw a text box, roughly the right size. Now go to that text, I'm going to cut it, I'm going to paste it. Okay, now we're getting that situation where there's a lot of room above and below. So let's highlight the text, go to paragraph, and put spacing down to 0. Okay, that's a lot better. Let's make that narrower now. And let's go to Format, Shape Outline, No Outline. Check I did that properly. Yep. Okay, now we need to get the line above and below. So to do that, okay, I'm going to go to not Design, Insert, Shapes, Lines. Hold down the Shift key and draw a line basically around about that position there. Probably a little bit too high. I'm just going to use the my arrow keys just to move it down a little bit. Okay, shape outline, choose black for the color. Back to there again, I want the weight to be that little heavier. With the line still selected, Control C, Control V to get a copy. And I'm using my arrow keys, as you might hear, to position that line. I want about the same space above the text for the line, and then same amount of space below the text with the bottom line. Okay, those two lines, I'd always like to move them together. So I'm going to select one of them, hold down the Control key, select the other one. Notice the cursor changes there, little plus sign on it. Okay, and then we're going to go to Drawing Tools, Format and Group. Okay, so the lines are grouped, the text is in a text box. Be easier to move them if I ever need to. Okay, we're almost there. Okay, I'm going to go now Insert, Text Box, Draw a Text Box, roughly this position. We can always move it later. To save a little bit of time, I'm going to go and copy this text from this completed one. Okay, and make that a little less deep. So we're in about the right position. I do want to get rid of the outline again. Notice this also has resulted in this line disappearing. This is because it's above the line, so I'm going to send backward. Maybe send to back. There we go. Now we've got that text box in around about the right position. Just clicking on the edge of it to select the text box itself, move it up and left a little bit. And now we have our header, basically. Okay, and we can move this text back up here. Alright, that's it, and we'll look at other parts of this newsletter a little bit later. Does that colour